them to just introduce themselves. Just give us your name and give us your hometown. And then the mentors are going to give you their names. They're going to give you the universities they're with and then their majors. And then we're going to go around and we're going to talk about when they started to transition, what they want to do with their careers, with their majors, and then how they handle peer pressure. And then I want the youth to really think about what questions you want to ask to these mentors.
My name's Stephen Green from Long Beach. Attend Cal State Fullerton.
My major is psychology with a minor in marketing.
My name is Walter Corey. Attend Sacramento State University and majoring in social work.
Two area emphasis I'm looking at heavily though: supply chain and operation management, which would be a career in like FedEx, UPS, Home Depot, Walmart, anything that deals with like moving one product from point A to point B.
Since I grew up in foster youth as a kid, and growing up, I felt like I had to give. I feel like I want to give back, so I'm gonna try to pursue being in a foster care system after my master's degree, so I can advocate for your young youth, kids and stuff.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to do is work in clinical psychology and be able to go back to my community, which is like the inner cities, and offer mental health services.
My name is Eddie Garcia. I'm an engineering major, manufacturing engineering. I'm on my 4th year at Cal Poly Pomona.
My name is Mario Quintana. I'm a psychology major at Cal Poly Pomona.
My name is Priscilla Tariquez. I am the program coordinator here at Cal Poly Pomona. I am currently coming to you live from my room. So I did graduate from Cal Poly Pomona back in 2018 with a major in liberal studies and a minor in sociology.
Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Arpayan. I am from the city of San Diego, coming to you live from my kitchen as well.
My brother was killed somewhere in 1996, and I think it was at those moments when I decided to try to come up with a new outcome for myself in my life. So I think at those points is when I decided to, embrace not necessarily education, but try to bring my outcome. So I started taking trades. I got my high school diploma while I was in the youth authority.
I got tired of reading fiction books, so I started reading nonfiction, more about the world, started doing number powers and things like that. And on math, I realized I was good at math. So I decided just to try to better myself and try to educate myself, because I had, I had a life sentence, and when I left, I had a 2-year-old daughter. And at that time, she was in school and stuff, and I wanted to promote education to her. And I figured what better way to promote education to her was to do it myself also.
When I was in community college, I was still hanging around with the wrong crowd, and I was still indulging in criminal activity and whatnot. And I was working this construction job at the same time. And when I got accepted to stay, I was actually really surprised that they accepted me to stay. It was like a long shot for me, and I quit my construction job. And I told myself, I'm gonna find a job here on campus so I can really focus on studying. Like, they accepted me to stay. This is a very prestigious university. I think I deserve it.
Say my transition began when I ended up in county 5 months pregnant. And that's when I realized I didn't want to have my son in jail, but unfortunately I did. So I didn't have my son for 8 months. He still isn't in my custody. And I think that's what's been fueling me and, helping me move forward with my education and my career goals that I have in mind.
I would say that when I experienced that trajectory in my life would be at the age of 19. I don't know, a little bit of my history is I did grow up around gang violence and that kind of environment. At a young age, I experienced a lot of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. I knew that what I wanted to do was work with at-risk youth, living in foster care and juvenile hall most of my youth. I got to hear a lot of stories and meet a lot of young kids who had gone through a lot of stuff. And I wanted to make a difference in somebody's life. So when I was 19, I enrolled myself in community college, and I wanted to major in criminal justice because my goal was to go back into the halls and just be there for some youth.
I started to understand like that the academia really studied the subject, broke it down, and then when I started to identify the subject, I could identify the subject the way they had broke it down, and it made it easy for me to translate it back or to explain it back to people. And then I really started realizing like how ignorant I was.
Kind of tend to see, hey, I think dude right there, he's keeping it real, so either you either keep it real for the negative or keep it real for the positive, and I tended to go with the positive, and eventually even even those negative peers around you tend to see, hey, well, he's walking that walk, so I respect that.
When I was with my friends or my roommates, and I would say, no, you know what, I can't go tonight or something like that. After a while, they kind of accepted it because they really saw me there in my room, like maybe doing some homework, typing up a paper or something like that.
My friend called me, asked me, where you been at, what you doing? And I just was like, I got into school. I've been in school. And at first it was kind of all fun and games, like, no way. And I was like, I grew up with the type of friends that we would glorify not going to college, be like, man, we're never going to do that stuff, And so I was just very real, very honest. And I definitely did change the environment where I was at, which helped me enormously. I refrained a lot from going down to my neighborhood because I felt that every time I did so, it's easier to get peer pressure when you're around your friends that you've grown up with since you were like 11, 12, and 13, and they're all still stuck doing the same thing. We go get some 40s and just hang out and drink, but then drinking leads to violence, and violence leads to juvie or, county at the time. And so I just kind of kept it real. I was very honest. And same thing like Moises said, with time, it took time for my friends that I grew up with to see that I could do it. And not only that I could do it, but that they could do it.
At the time when I was transitioning, I was older already, so I really didn't have the pressure from the young guys. And what happened with me was kind of unique because as I became educated, like they're saying, you got to be consistent. If you're going to try to do the positive thing while in prison, people will support that. But if you're consistent and you're not living, two lives.
I went in when I was 14, so all I knew was the gang lifestyle. So going in and spending all that time in juvenile hall, YA, and prison, I just felt like it's weird because I felt like I had to be loyal to them, not they had to be loyal to me. I didn't even have to be loyal to myself. I found education within prison, and once I found it, it just filled me so much that it's something that I wanted to pursue, and I did pursue it. And I think the biggest peer pressure that I faced was my own reputation. Like, how would I look? How would I be perceived? And once I got over that, I didn't fear it anymore.
What's the transition? What is it like to being incarcerated to actually being on a college campus, being a college student? What is that like?
To me, it was harder. When it's hard when I went to college, basically because I haven't went to school for 20 years. So it was kind of hard, and I had to learn how to redo like math, English, and I test low on a lot of scores. So I had to transition into back into like my school life, like back into school. But I mean, to me, it's like it was two different worlds.
When I applied and got accepted to Cal State Fullerton, before I even got accepted, I would go to Cal State Fullerton. I would take tours of Cal State Fullerton. I would take tours of Cal Poly Pomona. I would take tours of other campuses. And I would just look around me and just be mind blown. So when I got accepted to Cal State Fullerton, it just like, this is it. This is the school that accepted me.
Am I going to 4? It took me about 4 to 5 years to do that at that time. And then I transferred over here to Sac State. And when I transferred over here, I didn't know nothing about the Project Rebound program until I actually came to Sac State. And I was talking to a student or a professor, and they kind of directed me into the Project Rebound. And when I came in to talk to them and let them know that I was been incarcerated and showed my interest in it, they actually brought me into the program, and I've been here since in the program, and they actually even helped me get a job like on campus, a student assistant job here on campus through Project Rebound. So that's how I ended up coming here to Sac State. And
you know, it is real. Like the money problems are real, but what you've already explained, Dr. Reese, is that I got a Pell Grant when I got out. I got the job when I got out. Project Rebound has assisted me with tuition, the money for my books, the money for my parking pass. They also helped me get a job with Federal Work Study. So that money right there has definitely kept me afloat, where I'm not the big financial burden I would be on my family. And then Project Rebound provided me with the John Irwin House, a place to stay here. I don't even know how to count like how many blessings come my way.